So if you take a baby, an infant, for example, they can cry because they're hungry or they're sad. They need to be snuggled. But they can't say that. I'm hungry, give me something to eat. So there's a lot of nonverbal communication back and forth from the infant and the mother or caregiver. And we also talked previously about how important the relationship is with the mother and the infant. It's huge. It's really paramount. That's why abandonment can have such a strong emotional force. That's why if you have experienced abandonment, and that is a schema that continues to create chaos in your life and your relationships, you're going to swing from happy that your significant other is there to you're really sad that they're leaving, and then you are pissed off that they're gone, and then you're still pissed off when they come back. It's from one emotion to the next. You can't really get a grip on your emotions. You don't have much control over them. At that point, they're controlling you. And that's what can be scary to your significant other. Your intimate relationships, this was mentioned earlier, are the ones that are most impacted. Your casual relationships, not so much. Casual relationships are going to be on the surface. And then in schema therapy, when we go back to the relationship of childhood and adulthood and how those two are connected, when a child cries, they don't need the neighbor to come assist them. They need their mother or their caretaker. It's not mother specifically, but the one who is caring for them, whether it's a nanny or a daycare worker, that is who they need. They don't need their housekeeper. They're keeping house. They need the one that's going to closely love them, connect with them, communicate with them non-verbally. So you're going to get that with your intimate relationships. Your casual relationships are going to just be surface. There's a cycle of abandonment that we and our intimate partners are going to experience together, and it starts with fear, moves into grief, and then into anger. So in the beginning with fear, we're afraid that they're going to leave us. Then we feel so sad. This is the grief portion. We're so sad that they're gone, and it hurts so much. Then once we come out of that stage, we enter into anger. We're very upset and we're mad. We're mad about two things. We're mad first that they left us. Then we're mad at ourselves because we need them so much. And that is such a catch-22. To be mad at somebody else and to be mad at yourself, and it just doesn't catch a break. And you keep going through these cycles, and you're going through them, you're expressing that to your significant other, but your significant other is confused. And it creates a lot of anxiety and depression, specifically in the person who has the abandonment schema. And it can also create that for the person they're in a relationship with, because they love this person, but they can't understand their behavior. And since this starts very early in childhood, the person who is experiencing the abandonment may not even be able to vocalize why. They themselves don't understand. It's just a pattern of behavior that started in infancy and childhood and moved forward into the present. But this information helps bring that to light, and so you can change it. So now we're going to talk about the 2 types of abandonment, and they are significantly different, and I can identify with one more than the other. But the 2 types of abandonment are, the first one is based on dependence, which is all about how you function. It's going to be things like you feel like you are dependent on your significant other or a caregiver to provide things that you need to function, such as food and shelter and money and all the things in life that you need to function. You feel as if you are unable to do that on your own, so you need someone else to do these things for you. The second type of abandonment is based on loss. So this is going to be emotional. These people depend on others emotionally, and they feel like they are unable to soothe themselves. So if they are feeling unloved, it is very difficult without changing their coping mechanisms to feel like it's okay, you are loved. I love you. You talk to yourself, reparent yourself, and other people love you, and it's okay. You're going to be fine. They feel like they can't tell themselves that. They were not told that as infants or shown that as infants and told that as children enough to where they believed it, and they feel that. So they look to their significant others. It's an extreme amount of pressure for their significant others to constantly soothe them and nurture them and take care of them, because they are unable to do that themselves. So to get a little bit deeper into the dependence of functioning, these are going to be survival needs, guidance through direction, getting through your day, and all of what you need. You to get out of this, you have to realize or learn in time that you are enough, that you can provide your daily needs for yourself, and you do not need someone else to provide that for you. You're enough. You are. That is the theme here. You are enough. You can do that. You can buy your food. You can provide shelter for yourself. You can give yourself direction how to make it throughout the day. And that seems so simple. And for some people it is, but those that struggle with this, it is so hard. They feel alone in this world and that they cannot cope without a very strong figure showing them that path. And this could come from the absence of a caregiver, or it can also come from a very strong, dominating, controlling figure that never allows you as a child to make decisions and experience the consequences of that, or they give you too much direction. It doesn't matter what you think. This is the way you do it. You're going to do it like this. And so when it comes time for them to function independently and on their own, they can't, because they're used to somebody telling them how to do that, and they don't know how to function without that strong figure. You have to be careful of people that come across that way if this is your weakness or your schema, because those strong figures can create that high chemistry and you just run right into a relationship like that time and time again. The loss or the emotional abandonment, they need people to help them feel an emotional connection. So if they're having a really bad day, and we all need friends to uplift us, and that's good. We need that support. As humans, we're social creatures, and so we need to be surrounded by others in a healthy way. That's good. But for people who are experiencing the abandonment schema, it's very unhealthy. So they had a bad day. I can't think for myself. I can't feel for myself. I need somebody to help me work through this. Oh my gosh, what am I going to do? They're biting their fingernails down to the quick. This is more how I deal with things, so I can relate to this one a little bit more. I'm real quick to call somebody up, or I put a little too much pressure on my significant other to soothe me and calm me. I haven't learned how to do that myself. I'm learning, but instead of just going from 0 to 100, taking it down a notch. Okay, you had a bad day, but is it really the end of the world? Does that really mean that nobody likes you and you're never going to feel loved and you're going to be alone forever because you had a bad day? Everybody has a bad day. Maybe a better way of dealing with this would be to sit down and write about your day in a journal, and then take a breather. Have a glass of wine. Don't drink the whole bottle or something. But take a walk around the block, and then come back to your journal and read over it, or even push it off to the next day, read it. And does it really mean because your coworker didn't talk to you when you came in that morning, they kind of gave you the cold shoulder, they really don't like you and they don't want to talk to you ever again? Or is it because maybe they have a really big project that their boss put on them and they have to work towards that and they don't really have time to socialize that morning, but maybe you go into work the next day and they do? So just being able to cope and to self-soothe and know it's okay. You're gonna be okay. You're not destined to be alone forever. It's just a bad day. And again, it sounds so simple, but I'm almost 40 years old and I'm just now learning these techniques. So for those of you that have learned them, or you had caregivers that taught you this early in life, wow, that's incredible. Good for you. That's amazing. You're doing awesome. Keep up the good work and share with us how you do that, because it's one of those steps that were missed. So this pushes the normal, stable, kind, nurturing, loving partner away because they don't know how to deal with that. They want a reciprocity relationship where they are giving calm and steady and they're getting calm and steady, but they're giving calm and steady and they're getting this roller coaster ride of a lifetime, and it's so intense they don't know what to do with that. So that is something to really be aware of. If you give it time, instead of meeting and moving in with somebody a month later and talk about marriage, I love you and we're gonna be together forever, take the first month to get to know them. Do I even want to be friends with this person? Take the second month of, I want to be friends with this person. Do we have the same values? Okay. Take the third month, and I don't know that this is the timeline you want to go by. Obviously, I haven't gotten it right. That's why I'm learning this. I'm just thinking out loud. So by the third month, I've gotten to know them. I want to be their friend. Do we have the same values? And by the fourth month, do we have the same goals in life? So once you start getting to know them slowly and the friendship grows, the relationship blossoms, then you can start thinking about spending more time with them. And then when you're spending more time with them, do I see a future with this person? And then if so, then you can start making plans. But you know there's going to be people that you meet and maybe the first 2 months click, and then the third month, the values are off. Or the fourth month, the goals are not there. Or everything is there, but it may not be the right time in your life or theirs to plan a future together. So you haven't gone from 0 to 100 expecting the next person to abandon you. You don't know whether they're going to abandon you or not. Don't go into it automatically assuming they're going to be done with you. You don't know that. You don't know. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. But if you slow down and take the time to slowly but surely get to know them, they slowly but surely get to know you, then you even decide whether this is a relationship worthy of your time. Is it a relationship worthy of their time? Is there more than the chemistry that just is overwhelmingly amazing that gets you through that? Because chemistry comes on very strong in the beginning. So chemistry comes on really strong in the beginning, and that's the fun part. That's what we've been doing right all along, is getting the chemistry right. We've been charming and pulling people into us, and they've been pulling us into them. But we don't want just chemistry anymore, right? If we're wanting to change our lives and we're wanting long-term healthy relationships, we're not going to strive for that strong chemistry in the beginning. We're striving for trust and accountability and love and nurturing, and not just to receive that, but also to be able to give that to that person. And it takes a while, but it is very much achievable. And I know that with patience and understanding and being kind to yourself, that you can get this. And I really do believe in my heart that I can get it too. If you've seen the other 2 videos, you'll know that I've told you guys that I'm taking a year off to get this right. I'm not just going to wake up one day and it's going to be ready for me. I've learned it and that's it. It's a progress. It is a journey that I have to be aware of every day, and I have to be vigilant about. And we really have to protect our heart, because nothing breaks like a heart. And our schemas have broken our hearts, and they've torn apart relationships. They've brought upon us patterns in our life that we don't want. And as I'm learning, I will be glad to help you or answer any questions. And I would also love to hear about your journey and your process through all of this. It delights me so much when I have someone else that says, hey, you know what, I can relate to that. This is where I'm at. I have come so far, and that makes me so happy, because it's like, you know what, the light bulb is going off for other people. It gives others hope when you share your triumphs, and you also are unafraid of disclosing your shortcomings, because we have a way on social media of smiling and making everything look perfect. Well, there is no perfect. There's things that we need to work on, all of us, and through our experiences, we can help other people with that. So I made a note here about page 77. I can't remember what that is, so I'm going to turn to that and see what that holds for us. And this is my conclusion here. I won't keep you guys much longer. Thank you for your patience as we've talked about all this. But these 6 steps here that are listed are going to give us help. It's coming directly from the book of how we can change our abandonment schema. And the first one is to understand your childhood abandonment. You can identify it and you understand it, then we know what to hone in on and we know what our triggers can be. Number 2, we need to monitor our feelings of abandonment. Identify our hypersensitivity to losing close people, our desperate fears of being alone, and our need to cling on to people. It's very good. I like that one. Number 3, we must review past relationships and clarify the patterns that reoccur. Because if they're reoccurring, then we're doing the same thing over and over, and it must change. That specifically must change. We need to list the pitfalls of abandonment, such as we get neurotic, we make our partners confused, we sabotage relationships, blah, blah, blah. All of that. That's a really good one. I like that one too. I like all of them, but that one's good. Whew. Well, we just talked about number 4. Avoid uncommitted, unstable, ambivalent partners, even though they generate high chemistry. It's like a shot of heroin. I've never done heroin, but I can imagine it's like to the brain. We want to avoid that. Number 5. I haven't accomplished this yet, and if I did and you're out there, I'm sorry I messed it up. Truly, I am. I'm working on that. But anyway, number 5, when you find a partner who is stable and committed, that's huge. Trust him or her. Believe that he or she is there for you forever and will not leave. I'm so new into my therapy. This is so sad. My dark, negative voice cannot even imagine that happening. Because that is the emotional, that's the emotional, abandoned, wounded child in me that has thought is not possible. So to get through this one, it's going to require a lot of time and patience and understanding. But this one is so huge, and I'm going to be working hard towards that every day in small, tiny baby steps. So that's the good news. Oh, anyway, okay, so moving on to number 6. Do not cling, become jealous, or overreact to the normal separations of a healthy relationship. And that one may be really big for you. Maybe the number 5 wasn't so much, but if we feel those clingy, jealous, overly dramatic reactions to very normal and healthy separations, and we will be able to identify those in time, then we know that something needs to change. So thank you all for listening. I hope this has helped. I'm so grateful to Young for coming up with schema therapy and making such a profound impact on mental and behavioral health. And I wish you the very best in your journey. And I look forward to speaking to you guys in the future. And even more than that, hearing your feedback on where you are. Take care and talk to you soon.